it's just like, oh, hey, Eddie, you're talking into the void and nobody's.
You're lying.
No,
You're
that's
lying.
Lloyd.
You're
You know you
lying.
can back me up on this, right? I mean,
Yeah.
actual
You're lying.
factuals, right? That's
You're
exactly what
lying.
it is.
Double
Yeah.
That's
down,
not
like
what-
Eddie
Yes.
double down
Yes.
Lyles.
Yes.
You're a liar.
If steering into the issue is a person, that would be you. Just steer into it.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Like, it never hasn't happened, and I've just now realized it's not because you can't hear us. It's because you think that we're trying to interject on the point, and you're like, no, I'm going to railroad both of you pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep going to establish my point and my dominance by being louder, more aggressive, and more assertive.
Or dickhead.
Or-
You could tell me when we first jumped
With
the
it.
podcast.
That's why I'm mad with it. With it. With it. That's why I'm mad with it. Straight out the trap with it.
Got it.
Whatever you want, whatever you need, it's on tab. Get it. That's why I'm mad with it.
Happy New Year.
That's why
I
I'm
just don't like
mad
talking
with
over
it.
the sound, you piece of shit.
Okay. You chase
And watch him blow right through it and just get back to his point.
I didn't do it either, by the way.
Yo, this
Maybe I
fuck-ass
did.
nigga.
I'm that guy.
Maybe I did.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
it's the I'm Get in Trouble podcast with your boy Eddie Lyles. Lloyd Lee is in the building finally. And Terrence G is over there in
Eat,
fucking
skeet.
white people's fucking town. Acting like a
Wow.
dickhead as always.
So
Damn.
aggressive.
Let all the acquaintance be forgot. Jesus Christ.
I'm
I
just,
know, right?
hey, I just try to
You're still
the truth.
reeling. You're just reeling because you just got stripped emotionally right here in front of everybody. A little bit back scenes, and one of your flaws was exposed, and it probably still stings. It's okay.
I don't know. I don't have any flaws, sir. I'm fucking almost perfect. So as I can get back inside of a fucking house to do this studio, I'll be even more better.
Mo better. Mo better.
Mo
Mo
better.
Monday.
better,
Do it more better. Do it more better,
more
man.
better Monday,
Way
baby.
more better.
Yo.
Baby.
How is New
Happy
York
New
right
Year,
now?
bro.
Happy
Happy
New Year.
New Year. Happy New Year.
New York is cold as balls, bro. It's 20 fucking degrees out here, son.
Yeah.
Literally, but no snow.
Did you do the New Year's thing? Have you ever done the New Year's thing?
Edward?
Edward.
Who the fuck is Edward?
I don't know who the fuck y'all think this is, bro.
When Eddie lives in a house, his name is Eddie. When Eddie lives in a car, he's Edward.
Is Edward? No, I don't live in a. No, this is stupid. Oh, fuck it. No. Me and Frankie French did stand up New York. So I went out there for New Year's. You know what I'm saying, and just kept my distance from everybody. You know?
Good.
Like that type of good shit.
On a technical aspect, are you like touching the phone right now? Because it sounds like you're like rubbing the microphone. Or
No,
rubbing...
I think my shirt was touching it. That's what I
turn your
did.
collar down, homie. No more popping collars.
More Papa collars. Is that out of style now?
The fuck do I know? I'm 41 years old. I don't know shit about style.
Nobody in this panel knows anything about the style nowadays. Like that's factual. We are officially of that age where we're stuck pretty much like in our era with a few tweaks. Like I know I'm like 90s, 2000s ish, like late 90s, early 2000s. I'm pretty much stuck there. Like I'll upgrade a shirt or a sweater. That's it.
I just want Lugs to come back.
Facts.
Because it's funny,
Facts.
but because that is a brand that I'm holding on to.
Dude.
It's never been a thing. It's never been a brand.
You can't say
never
that.
been a thing.
I know that hurts you.
You're the only person on the podcast that wears it. You're literally the loyalist likes to say it just thinks the shit's funny. Nobody wears Lugs but you.
I have
As
a
person
singular
who wears
pair.
you.
He just called us both out.
The thing is you are acting like Lugs was not a thing. All right, and it very much was a thing.
It never was a thing.
It was definitely a thing.
It was a thing for 99% of dudes because most could not afford Timbs. Don't bullshit. That's facts, bro.
What? No, it's
They
not.
were either buying Lugs or the Wolverine Wheats. That's
when you couldn't afford actual Wallabies, you wore the
Bam.
lugs, boots,
Lugs,
wallabies.
baby.
Listen. No, I've never owned a pair of lugs in my life, bro.
That doesn't mean that it
Like,
wasn't a thing.
and I've been broke.
You're literally the
broke
type of
before.
dude that's like, I ate really, really well tonight. I don't know how in the world there's world hunger. Like, what is that? I've
You're
never owned a
lucky
pair
Is
of
that
lugs.
what it is? Is that
Lugs
what it
never
is?
happened. Lugs
You're
were
lucky
never a
you
thing.
live in a car. You're lucky you don't have like an actual mailing address because I was gonna mail you some lugs, okay? But you
No, you
don't
weren't.
have an address.
No, you weren't.
You don't even
were
got a
never
P.O.
gonna
box.
mail me lugs, yo.
He's just got a
Lloyd,
CO2
stop.
box.
Lloyd, you never were gonna mail me lugs. That's just a
with
fucking fact.
bullshit. With $7 flat
I'm
rate
not saying
shipping,
flat
you
rate
are worth
shipping.
it,
You were
sir.
never
25%
you were
off.
never. What was I gonna buy them and you were gonna pay for shipping, dickhead? You were never
Yes.
gonna buy me lugs, you lying piece of shit. No,
So you could tell we're all fucking friends here. So we'll transition into the first topic.
even as a
Speaking of
prank gift,
friends.
Lloyd wouldn't have done that shit.
Yes, he would have. I would have. I
Segue.
absolutely would. Yeah,
Segue.
As a prank gift.
I do. I'd give you lug socks as a stocking stuffer.
Wait till
Oh
they
my
have
God.
lugs customized, like lugs ID.
Oh my god. No,
These
bro.
are Eddie Lyles
They
embroidered
used-
on the side.
They used to sell the shirts that just had that old English L on them. Like, you can't sit here and play, man. Like, whether you liked it or not, Eddie, it was a thing. But we can transition into the first topic. So you can tell we're over here ribbing each other. We're like friends,
Goddamn,
man.
He's like, I
Speaking-
want to get out of this shit.
I don't want to lose because you always bitch at me about, oh, you lose viewers every time we talk about lugs, and now Eddie wants to like, no, let's keep talking about lugs.
Hold on, I'm so good with the transition. I'm just so weirded out that you're like the first podcast of 22. You're like, let's get off of this lug shit. Like it's always me. Like, all right, let's move on.
I was trying to help you out, man. So this is a terrible segue, but we're going to talk about Patton Oswalt, y'all. Patton Oswalt popped up in the news recently because he shared a post, just a simple post of a photo of him and a friend. That friend just so happened to be the one and only Dave Chappelle. And obviously, it's created the controversy because of the recent controversy from Chappelle's special. I can't believe that this is how many months now that we're still talking about controversy surrounding this special. I mean, this is pretty irritating, but also significant given the internet attention span.
Right.
I'm actually disappointed that he apologized. Like, it was Patton Oswalt. He's always been the champion of kind of like staying in your own lane, doing your own thing.
But I was going to say, like, as of recent, like, he's been one of those celebrities that's gone to like that cancel culture length. Like, he's like, because that was so from my understanding. Yeah, because like I actually really like his humor style, but his politics and shit he's like one of those dudes you're like, dude, that's too much, man. And I thought that was part of the apology. So is that what you meant by the apology, Lloyd?
Yeah, I mean, because I kind of just breezed over. I didn't really read his reasoning, but he was like, yo, I'm apologizing for taking a picture with Dave Chappelle and posting it. I mean, that's basically what he's apologizing for.
So I think
go my bad.
No, so I do think that the headline was a little misleading. He apologized that people took it a certain way because it wasn't what he intended, but he said something along the lines of like, this is my friend of 34 years. Like, I can't do this. So I actually found it somewhat redeeming for Patton Oswalt myself because of the recent history and cancel culture. He actually ended it on this thing of, while Patton Oswalt fully supports trans rights and everything, and him and Dave fully disagree on how that thing goes, he's like, I, as Patton Oswalt, need to reevaluate myself as a person because I was essentially excommunicating people when we didn't agree on certain things, essentially. So I was like, okay, that was nice.
Yeah, I think he was trying to show that, like, he was basically trying to say, like, just because we have a difference of opinions, we shouldn't be cutting people off. Mm-hmm. And that he did that before, but he does apologize for everybody that was offended that he took the picture with Dave. But it was still one of those cop-outs where it was like, no, this is your man's. Like, why are you
of 34 years?
Of 34 years.
Who asked you to come perform at this thing? Like, don't.
Right.
That was very quickly skipped over. Like, hey, man, at this arena, this guy asked you to come and you said yes.
You know, they were opposite. They were arenas around the corner from theaters around the corner from each other.
Right.
So Patton was doing his own show, and then
the theater was around the corner from the arena.
something like that, basically.
Exactly.
Something like that. But it was at the end of the day, like, because everybody forgets that Patton started in DC, like in the DMV, right? More in Virginia, and then came over to like it would travel up to DC a lot more. Right. Yeah. So like he ran it like people from DC will remember this name, Dave Chauffeur. Like the story of like Dave Chauffeur, like telling Patton he didn't want to pay him because he wasn't funny or some shit like that. Like it's Josh Caderna talked about it, but Patton started in DC when Dave started like 30 years ago. So it's like they've been knew each other, they've been acquainted. So for you to like come out and be like, oh yeah, man, like we have a difference of opinions, but I'm sorry for anybody that was offended that I took a picture with my friend. Like, come on, son. Like, that's a lot, bro. After and it was 2 posts. It was like he put up a post and was like, I finally got to see my friend that I've been performing with for good, bad, and the ugly for the last 34 years. I got to, like, you know what I'm saying, chill with my guy. And then the next day was like, oh, I'm sorry for everybody that was offended that I was chilling with my guy. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. On one end, you know, I look at it from the comedy side of just being like, anybody that's been doing comedy that long is in a very, very rare air. And then, you know, to be friends with somebody that for that long, to be friends with somebody that long for me, I think is almost impossible. I don't have people that I know from when I was 5 years old, but I'm not friends with them. Right. Like in comedy, once you get to like the headlining level, you don't see any of your friends anymore because you all can't be in the same city on the same weekend at the same time. So when serendipitously you are in the same city on the same weekend and you just happen to have the time to hang out after 20, 30 years, it means something different. It's not like, oh, I just showed up at my high school bar, you know, the high school town and went to the bar that everyone's at and I saw my friend for the first time in 34 years. It's different. It's very, very different.
Yeah. And that's where it's like, I give him credit and kudos for somewhat acknowledging his cancel culture participation of the past. But I can't fully sit here and be like, oh yeah, that was great, Patton. What you did was cool, because it definitely seems like he acquiesces to that cancel mob that's like, hey, you don't fully agree with me blindly, so now we've got a problem. Because that's essentially what it is. And it's like he kind of takes a jab at that by saying, hey, yeah, I did that too, but hey, now that I'm under fire for it, hey, don't shoot me, kind of. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's like I can't help but see this is a little bit of you reaping what you've sown for the last few years, my guy. Like, unfortunate to say.
But the Patton really didn't talk out against people. Patton was the reason why I always liked him was he was always a storyteller. And like he would get in trouble because of how he said story or something like that, but he never really went at people. Does that make sense?
On Twitter, he definitely has more lively
nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is it seems like now it's like I've always said, cancel culture to me is like that loose cannon, and people love to celebrate it until they realize that aperture gets pointed right back at you at some point.
Cancel culture works if you are never going to be in the public eye. And if you're ever in the public eye, cancel culture will eat you alive. It's just a matter of time.
Wait. Kristen Teigen's doing with that shit now.
Kristen Teigen, same thing.
Yeah, she was fucking shitting on everybody. And then now she's like, everybody, they were like, yo, you were the mean girl back in the day, shawty. Like, you were the
back in the day, literally like 3 years ago. Like we have receipts from 3 years ago.
Right. That's how short the internet memory is.
Yeah.
I will say though, like, despite all of that, I do think we have one individual that's uncancelable. Like, this is just, hey, it just popped up in my head. Uncancelable, because if he would have been cancelable, he would have been canceled by now. If you smell what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is cooking,
the fuck that motherfucker ain't Dwayne Rock for.
He ain't I'm saying that dude is uncancelable. Like,
because he don't do shit. He doesn't talk out against anything that people cancel.
I'm saying that's the thing, though, is like we found somebody that's uncancelable. He's racially ambiguous enough.
Oh my
He's
God.
blackish, he's whitish, he's
I'm
Asian.
saying, like, so that's unoffensive to
And
most. It's
Right.
unoffensive to the racist women that are like, oh no, I just want big black cock like in a hotel room for cheap one night, like dirty shit. So it's
Eddie?
like he's racially ambiguous enough to pass. He doesn't inject himself in politics other than, hey, just work hard and put boots to asses and that's it. Dude's uncancelable. That's
He
all I'm saying.
canceled himself from the Fast and the
Fast and
Furious.
Furious.
He said, "Nah, I'm good. No thanks."
He canceled
Yo,
himself because of Vin Diesel's
Vin
bitch ass.
Diesel was like, "Yo, come on, son, just let it. Like, we're gonna just work this out, my guy. Let's just work this out." He's like, "Hey, nah, my nigga, you're not white enough for me, homie."
Hey, I came, I saw, I didn't like it. I'm going home now.
Yeah, it was like, I'm not coming back. It was like, and then he like shitted on Vin Diesel. Was like, that was some bitch ass shit he did too. Like, we already talked. We forgave each other. I told him I wasn't coming back to the movies, and then he fucking like put this shit on the internet. Fuck you,
Yep.
Vin Diesel.
I mean, I'm not a fan of where the Fast and the Furious, like the last 5 of them or whatever. But I mean, to be at that level where you go, no, I'm good. I got other shit I got going on. Not Marvel, DC Universe is asking me to be the face of it. I'm good with your Fast 5 saga. No thanks.
Yeah, and he's the highest grossing actor of all time.
Whew.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I don't believe that one.
What do you think? Like, okay, without looking
Name
at the
somebody
stats,
else.
Name somebody else.
Samuel and fucking
You think Samuel L. Jackson has more grossing? No way, man. No way. Think of all the movies The Rock, dude. Think of all the movies The Rock has done. Like, and he does them back to back to back because it requires nothing other than The Rock to stay swole and then just shout a few times.
Bro, I don't think that's right, bro. I'm telling you, Samuel Jackson and Harrison Ford, bro. I think they still have, because they were still battling back and forth. They have 20 years ahead of The Rock.
I don't. Yeah, we don't know anything you're saying, bro.
I really do appreciate your cryptic messages that you're sending, but
apparently he's not Samuel L. You're
according to this.
I and I'm agreeing with you, sir. Can you let me give you your flowers for just a moment? I know it's awkward and you don't get complimented much, but just give me a few moments. Okay, thank you. Yes, Samuel L. Jackson has lifted $17 billion at the box office. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know. The first thing said Samuel L. Jackson, Robert Downey Jr., Andy Serkis, Scarlett Johansson, Zoe Saldana, Chris Pratt, Don Cheadle, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson is 8.
Okay, so that was where I got it put. Forbes posted an article earlier in 2020 that said that he was the top, but
probably for that year.
Yeah, so it looks like they broke it out for top 10 earners combined
of all time.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird way to word that, to say that. I hate when they do that shit. But hey, whatever.
Either way, he ain't going hungry. He's doing okay, and he can basically he can green light his own projects, whatever he wants to do. Like, hey, you want to play Citizen Kane? Yes, I do. Green light.
Yeah, and so he's got all the shit that he's got been WWE, all the movies that he had that were affiliated with WWE, that everything that was after that, plus his little Kevin Hart little run. The dude has definitely did it good. So if they didn't find anything at this point, I just think the guy's uncancelable, man. And he put out a tequila. He reached everybody, man. He's reached everybody, alcoholics included. He's not getting canceled.
Yo,
WWE wrestlers.
I don't think he does anything to get canceled. I think that's the issue.
Yeah. But
like,
speaking of no, go ahead.
No, I was saying, if you don't do nothing, if you don't ever do anything, then how would they cancel you? You know what I mean?
True. Well, also, if you're making that kind of money, like, I'm going to surround myself with people just being like, hey, what can I say? What can I say? And just have somebody behind me at all times telling me what I can and can't say.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart did that shit. And they did find. They had to go old tweets for him though, right?
Yeah. Like back in like 2011, 2010, 2012, somewhere around there. But yeah, speaking of The Rock in the DC universe, man, you touched on that nerve. What do you guys seen the news about this little Flashpoint movie and the rumors that are surrounding all of this? Basically, the long story short is there's a rumor that the new Flash movie, because if you're familiar with the Flash and his superpower, how he can reverse time by going super fast, I don't understand the mechanics of it. It just works. But he can reverse time. They're saying that it's going to wipe out all of what Zack Snyder did and start everything from scratch, up to and including the new Batman will be handpicked by Michael Keaton playing the aging Batman, but it's going to be Batgirl. Did y'all read on this?
I did not read the Batgirl thing. I heard that they're going to reset it, which I don't know, man. I think that Zack Snyder 4-hour cut was fucking amazing. First and foremost,
it was so dope. I'm so mad that wasn't anything close to what we got with the Joss Whedon.
Somebody fucked up big time.
Huge.
Yeah, I think they're going to just cancel all of it out.
That's like, why? What's your end goal here? Like, you're going to try and
have one.
That, I mean, clearly, because at this point, that's the thing that's so frustrating is DC animated movies are fantastic. Their writing, their dialogue, their everything. You can't touch it. They're right up there with some of the greatest movies I've seen. But for whatever reason, it comes to live action and they can't stamp it down. And then you took a 4-hour cut you finally give us, and now you're going to erase every aspect of that. So they're saying, buy Batfleck, buy Henry Cavill or Cavill, however you say it, as Superman. Like two people that I personally thought like looked and played the roles really well. What are we doing here?
They don't know. And I think that's what it comes down to is like, they're going to reboot and make the same fundamental problems again, is rushing everything, right? You like if they had just taken the Flash from the CW, taken all of the same characters from the CW and just implemented them through, you could have fast tracked the cinema universe because you didn't have to introduce the characters. There's enough footage of them being Flash, being Green Arrow.
Still doesn't make sense to me that neither of those actors even got a shot. Like Grant Gustin never got a shot to play, and Stephen Amell, I don't even know that they're going to do anything with the Green Arrow after Arrow was such a good freaking show. It's like,
it started the Arrowverse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But there's not going to be any movies, nothing planned that I've heard at this point.
TV part. So do you really want them on the movie part? Like, you know what I'm saying? The DC,
yes,
yes, absolutely.
If you want, if you want to rush the situation, which they are very much just going balls in with a complete disregard of like everything, go okay.
People are forgetting. Everybody's having in the moment bias, right? These like
recency
bias, right? DC has been making live action movies for years. Way longer than Marvel. That's one. The kick to it is that they took some time off and Marvel jumped in. Marvel had some duds, right? And then they fixed the shit after a couple fucking movies. And then the new guys at, you know what I'm saying, the studios were like, oh, let's try to compete with Marvel. You didn't have to do that. You were already good. You had what? Batman trilogy. You then had Man of Steel, which was that was one of the best Superman movies of all time.
Incredible. Right? Incredible. Like to this day that you didn't get more of that series is still frustrating.
Like, dude, you kept trying to jump into other people's, you wanted to go into the funny lane.
It's no insane. For the fact that they tried to follow that formula sheer for the success showed that they didn't care about the artistic deal. But that was even more evident when it came out with the Snyder Cut, I feel like, because you look at everything that was watered down from the Whedon version to what we actually got. And a significant amount of stuff that was excellent at pushing the storyline was cut out. Now, I get it, man. Maybe you were doing it to the time constraints or whatever, but you could have at least done it in a 2-part movie, something along those lines. It was insane.
I don't know, man. I don't like it. they kind of do have to do a reset, and the reason why I say that is you went from what was the Batman trilogy? Who was the Batman again?
Christian Bale.
You went from the Christian Bale straight to Ben Affleck, right? And we were happy that you didn't do the backstory of Ben Affleck, but then you did the bullshit Superman versus Batman joint, right? Which was we already had a cartoon,
but they did it,
so you didn't have to do it.
And they introduced Wonder Woman at that point too, right? Like out of the blue,
they introduced everybody.
Well, we don't need an introduction to Batman, so I can appreciate that. I don't need to see any more scenes of the pearls falling from the freaking air and a gunshot going off and all of that stuff.
Because it's different, and the only reason why I say hold up on that is because you have technical universes of Batman, right? Where it turns with you already get it.
No. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I disagree with that.
You'd be pretty safe to assume most people are relatively familiar. You'd get away with most people not needing a backstory on that. And then you threw in Wonder Woman.
We applauded Marvel for doing the same thing with Spider-Man, and then they just was like, no, we're not gonna give a backstory. We're just gonna get an in the moment story, and then killed Aunt May instead of Henry. Like Uncle Ben. So like
nobody saw that one coming though.
I didn't. I actually didn't.
But anybody that shows up with the name Ben in the Marvel universe, you're like, oh, he's somebody's uncle. He's dead. He's dying.
No. I'm saying I didn't see May dying.
Yeah. Nobody did. Nobody saw Aunt May. Anyone that named Ben would have seen coming a mile away.
My point is I just think the different storytellers is fine with me. I don't really care, especially when you change up the actors. Like the new Batman is coming out with
Patterson.
Twilight dude.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. Like I'm cool.
Don't lie though. Don't lie. That shit looks slick as fuck.
It looks slick.
It looks super slick.
So it's like I don't think that you have to do a reboot just like because you're trying to do a reboot with a different Batman and a different Superman. But you're going to keep the same Flash. You already introduced Wonder Woman, and you already introduced Aquaman. So you're going to keep and Cyborg. So you're going actually we have 4 cyborgs at this point on live action. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got not on live action. We have 4 cyborgs in movies right now. So you have Teen Titan Cyborg, the motherfucker from Doom Squad.
You have Doom Patrol,
and then you have Cyborg in a what's the name? So. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I don't like if you're gonna reboot the whole thing
from the beginning, from the top.
Just start all over. You already had your success with Wonder Woman. You had your success with Aquaman, right? Like if you're gonna start over, it's time to recast all the characters.
Did they have success with Wonder Woman and Aquaman?
Woman fire. Wonder Woman 2,
it was trash.
But first off, Leland Clayton was in that. It wasn't trash. It had one good part, and that was when my boy Leland was in it. But no, no, I was just saying, it was more. I was gonna say more bad. It was worse because it went straight to like HBO Max. It came out during a fucking pandemic, right? And like they added more shit to it to make it make sense and all. I thought I'm with you.
It was
fucking
too much, too late. Too much, too late.
It was dumb to do all of that shit.
Yeah.
It just kept it as is and put the fucking movie out.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you this. Story time. I remember watching Jay-Z come out in concert, and the way Jay-Z would come out in concert, he'd do a couple tracks by himself, and then he would do a duet with somebody. And that duet, then that person, the duet, he would get off stage. The guy that they did a duet with would do one of whatever track that they're known for, and maybe do another duet with somebody else. And then Jay-Z would come back on, and then he would do a couple songs, and then have a duet, and then repetitively for 3 hours. And that is the way I feel like the DC universe needs to start, right? They come out with whoever the tent pole of character is for them. They just have their, one movie, and then somebody else has another movie, and then they slowly combined into one. When you start jamming characters in, now you got to introduce people and figure out what they're about. But when you do the collaborations, the Avengers, like it went straight to the action. There was no like, oh, is that Captain America?
Yeah. But hold on. But we also, sorry, Terrence. But we also got to remember, Captain Captain America and Iron Man weren't A characters for Marvel and
At all.
universe.
At all.
Like everybody knew who they were, but they weren't like. I mean, a lot of nerds, people who watch comics, knew who they were. But in the Marvel verse, it's Spider-Man, X-Men, like that's it. And they fuck. And let's not forget, most signature character movies, they fuck them up.
Well, you know that they weren't A properties because they were the properties that they couldn't license to somebody else.
Exactly.
But they were still recognizable enough brands to where they didn't do the background story. There was enough of something out there. But I'm saying, like, it wasn't like to go to the extreme depths on the actual Avenger movie. But that's what I'm saying with DC, and specifically when it came to the CW series, where you were like, does it need to have the actors go? To me, if you're going to go through the links of creating this universe, this Arrowverse, this Flashverse, and then cross them over the way that you did, and then you even tell like a couple of different stories where you touch into some of the movie storylines, the least you could do is spin some movies off of it, especially because you had a Justice League around that fucking time.
I would, like, at the end of the day, like, they should have, like, no, they should have kept it separate. Because first off, in TV land, DC's king. In animated land, DC's king, right? So this is what we forget. Smallville ran for like fucking 10 years. Arrow ran for 8 years. Flash has been on for 8 years at this point now, right?
The Heroes of Tomorrow.
I was gonna say the Legends of Tomorrow. You've got Black Lightning has been 4 or 5 seasons now.
Dude, these motherfuckers are killing. What's name is technically in that universe because they bought the property, but Static Shock was on for like 5 years. Like so, you know what I'm saying? Like these motherfuckers have been doing this shit. They've been doing TV for so long that this is my what's name, and we saw it with the Snyder Cut a little bit. They keep trying to make TV for movie.
Trying to make TV for movie.
Okay, like the storylines they're telling. If they were over a course of series they would make more sense.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? It would be a lot better. But because you're cramming everything into 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
But see, that's where I think the beauty of the series goes in, because now I don't have to, if I'm the producer writing a storyline for a movie, I now don't have to worry about frivolous details to tell you about Oliver Queen and how he fell out with Slade Wilson and all of this stuff. I don't have to worry about any of it. Now I can just go and go and go.
Look what Marvel is doing in the Marvel universe. Same thing. They introduced characters from the Netflix, non-canon, which is now canon, but they don't take the time of being, oh my God, who is this guy? And they're like, they go to this.
What's his name from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when they were doing that before? Like,
yeah, but those are not signature players. There was even lower on the totem pole than fucking Iron Man. Like and technically Ben Affleck already did Daredevil.
But that's my thing is it could have been something simple. Because the
only reason why I say you can't is because Arrow, Green Arrow is not on the top on the A list, but fucking Flash is. Flash is a signature character. So by having him he already has his TV show. You don't want to introduce the Flash from the TV show that's already a hit as the same Flash because he's an A character. So then what's the point of me watching the TV show? I'd rather have the TV show separate. Don't make a movie about Flash until the TV show goes off. Now, again, Lloyd, to your point, and this is where I agree with you on, they keep rushing shit, which I think is the underlying tone of this whole thing. Stop rushing. You guys are already fucking winning. Stop being fucking greedy, bro.
And stop trying to follow Marvel's formula. You don't need the levity. Like you just don't need it.
But the path, the format, the blueprint is put out there. Here is a 10-year blueprint. You don't have to it works. It's verifiable. You have the properties, you have the time, you have the money. If you're going to do what Marvel does, do what Marvel does. Don't do it.
Yeah,
don't have asset.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, we already lost that. They already
we lost, but we can transition to the next one. Yeah. All right, let's move it. So it's 2 is interrelated. So I just have to talk about it because it's still funny to me.
Hold on. Just so all the audience members that really don't understand what's happening right now, Terrence is the one who got all the topics today. So Terrence is trying to get every fucking topic that he picked out. He's like, no, we're getting all of these.
No, because what had happened was Eddie sent a message to our big group. It was like, yo, we're coming out swinging 2022. We're going to be better and do better. And so I'm like, well, fuck these sidebar conversations, bitches. Let's go. I'm going to yank y'all for this conversation. Let's go. Yank. Giddy up, motherfuckers. Giddy up. Next subject.
We're going to go through 22 subjects in 45 minutes. This is going to be fucking amazing.
All right, where you want to go to Antonio?
Man, so I feel like we got to talk about the hot button topic that everybody's talking about today, man. Antonio Brown is out there. But before we go into Antonio Brown, I just have to mention that O.J. Simpson rips Antonio Brown for his antics on the field, saying it's just bullshit. And I got to say,
Juice stabs at him.
My guy.
Nah, y'all not gonna do my man. I won't say my
Juice.
Man. You're not gonna do
Orenthal James.
Orenthal
James,
like
my
that,
guy.
Bro. You can't
I just want to say, you might want to worry about that estate payment you got that you've been delinquent on for the last 3 decades. That's all I'm saying.
Do it on the field. He stabbed that bitch in the house. Hypothetically.
He was such a classy guy. On the field.
I'm just saying, bro.
I mean, if he did it on camera, I'm just saying.
No, on the field, he wasn't black, man. He was OJ. Like, that's all.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I can never get over the fact that OJ is out here for real. Like, really, like, offering life advice, but he's doing it like he really believes himself. Like,
oh, he does.
To me, it's just one of the funniest fucking things. But if y'all didn't see Antonio Brown, man, wide receiver, former for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, did probably one of the most bizarre things I think I've ever seen. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I thought he was a streaker. Like, for real. I thought it was a streaker at first.
Yeah.
Like, it was so off-putting, man. Like, I've never seen something like that before.
No, facts.
I didn't get to see it live. So I already knew what was happening before I saw the video. So I would say, it's up there as being the weirdest visual, but the weirdest thing I think that's weirder than that is there was a player that retired in the middle of the game. He just
from DC.
Yep. Just said, fuck it. I'm retiring. I'm going home. Good night, guys.
Tied in the locker room during halftime.
So yeah, we didn't see it. We just saw the after effects of it. So I would say that that's got to be the weirdest thing to happen. But him leaving all, like, fuck it, I'm out, guys. That's the weirdest thing I've seen.
That's the weirdest thing that ever happened, bro. Like,
well, especially because you saw Mike Evans trying to calm him down. It was like he's like, hey, you know, because I don't know how many times you guys have seen the video or which ones you've seen because there's a couple different angles, right? The one from the stands, I think, is probably the craziest one because it's like the Bucks. That's the thing people are not talking about. The Bucks were still on the field.
Yes,
they
were down.
Yes, they were still like.
Arian was trying to get them in the game.
It was like, and so he looks like he has this like, no, fuck that, like he. Y'all know what it looks like when you see a dude amping himself up, like when he's not really ready to bark and bite. But he knows he's got to look like he's ready to bark and bite, so he's amping himself up. So he kind of looked like that when Mike Evans was with him, and then you're like, oh, no, he's not faking this shit. This dude's like, he's fucking over it.
But it was like Tom Brady didn't throw him the ball or something like that a couple times, and then he had a mental lapse. Like, this is the scary part of mental illness, right? Like, this is obviously a mental illness. I'm being so real. Like,
it's got to be.
There's some people
he has not been correct since that hit with the Bengals.
There's some people that are like, oh, he was right for walking off because you don't let no. I swear to God, bro, this is some real shit. Like, they were like,
delete those people from your life.
Just because motherfuckers pay you don't mean they own you. So if he wanted to leave, they should have let his ass leave. They didn't want to let him leave. That's why he did that. Like, I don't know the fuck you're talking about. At the end of the day, in the middle of your job, there's one thing for a player to run off the field and be like, you know what, I can't do it. There's another thing to take all your clothes off, besides your underwear, right? Well, technically you only wearing underwear. Is take off all your clothes besides your cups and fucking throw them bitches into the stands, jump and do jumping jacks in the fucking end zone, and then give a deuce sign as you run off the field.
See,
there's something happened.
I agree with those people who say just because they pay you, they don't own you. I agree with them to the point of like, if you work at Walmart, you can quit. You can get hired at Target or Sam's Club or somewhere. You work at McDonald's, Burger King will hire you. You're talking about the NFL. There's only 32 teams that could take you, or you're not playing in the NFL at all. They're paying you millions of dollars. That is not a I quit on the spot job.
No, take it a step further. This is what everybody doesn't get. I think all 50 states, or at least top 40 or more, are at-will states. So at-will states, this is
they can hire you and fire you with or without reason. Like
your at-will employees talking about a contract. Dickhead, he owes money back.
Yeah.
Not even just that, he's not going to get paid. He just ended his NFL career.
Yep.
Right? He ended his NFL career.
Yep.
He lost millions of dollars for the remainder of the season because they were going to definitely make the playoffs, right? And he's probably going to owe money back from the money they gave him early on in the year.
Yep, signing bonus.
Hey, dude, this shit is not like. I'm being so real when I say this. I hope to fucking God that there's a counselor out there that is at this moment talking to him to work through his issues, not to go back and play football, not to apologize, but just on the simple mere fact that we don't know the whole fucking story, but just a little bit that we do know, this shit is out of fucking pocket, bro.
It's like two. I could see it being like this, right? It's two parts his personality, right? It's just maybe he's just kind of a whatever, but then it's also multiplied by being enabled, right? Because no matter what he's done, he's always been able to find another job somewhere at another team. But then multiply that even more to like fucking chaos. Like it's like, I don't like to be dismissive and I don't like to pull the mental health card, but CTE is got to be a real thing. When you look at that and you go, that is more than personality. That is more than fury or passion or fuego. That's more than just fucking chaos. It's all of it multiplied.
But people don't think that it was. A lot of people don't think it was that, Lloyd. A lot of people do think that it was just ego and fuego. Like a lot of people think that he did this shit because he's a fucking diva, right? And there's people, you know that because people have been saying that, like, oh, he's just being a fucking diva. He didn't like something, so he walked off the field. Then you got motherfuckers like, oh, they wouldn't throw him the ball because he was supposed to get a bonus if he catch two more touchdowns or some crazy shit.
There's another quarter and another game.
Yeah,
bro.
So, and that's where it's like when you look at this thing, it's like, the memes and little thing, they're funny. Like some of them kind of made me giggle. Like, look, man, the shit's gonna be funny when I die, so it is what it is. But yeah, I'm with you, Eddie, man. Like when you sit here and look at it, there's no way you can look at somebody doing all of this and think that everything is in order the way that it should be, because you even look at his little short time with the Patriots into the Raiders and all of that stuff. It was a lot of very out of pocket thing. But that's where it also kind of raises that question of how much is it and how much is something external, right? Like, because now we're looking at the better part of half a decade-ish of a track record of doing things like this. So it's just hard to tell, because you do know that this dude surrounds himself with enabler type dudes that are going to egg him on and be like, nah, bro, you've got it. Fuck them. They don't need
Start
to do
a rap
nothing.
career.
You can do, like do whatever, and not having that type of person that provides you that gravity that you need. And so it's a really sad situation, but I'd be remiss if I didn't think for just a quick second, just because I'm a little conspiracy theory had it at times, I wonder what this dude could have done or upset somebody for the NFL to try and paint this dude as crazy as they try to. Because he
He was going to buy NBC.
He swears.
Oh my God.
He swears he's not crazy, that he's got this grand plan, which obviously crazy people don't know they're
That was
crazy.
it?
And see, oh yeah. He's been saying that in cryptic messages like for years now, that whatever happens for a reason. He's always going to bet on himself, etc. Right? And so there's just a part of me that was like, I can't put it past the NFL either to not just portray this dude in such a negative light while not also trying to fuck this dude and then be like, how far can we push him?
I mean, I don't know anything about no grand scheme shit, or BC shit like Betty White.
Just from like his like Twitters and Instagram posts and shit.
Betty White was about to buy NBC. You know that? So, RP Queen. Like no, but like I'm to the point with Antonio Brown where I just have to say, I hope that you get what you need, bro.
Amen.
Like, and people are like, I hope he gets what he's asking for. Nah, bro.
Hope he gets what he deserves. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Nah, bro. Like, this dude really dope. Like, this is like Simone, like, so everybody keeps recency bias, right? Everybody keeps talking about Simone Biles. I was just looking at the tennis player who did the same thing. Do y'all remember this shit? I didn't even remember this shit. There was a tennis player back in the day. He was became number one tennis player, and he had to take time off because he started having mental breakdowns.
Yeah.
Was that the dude that played in the Adam Sandler movies? Johnny McEnroe?
No. That dude was just having psychotic breaks.
That dude was just angry.
Yeah.
There's that tennis player, the black Japanese female player that's like stepping away because she needs some mental health time.
Her. So that's another one. But Namasaki. Is it Namasaki? If I've messed your name up, I apologize. But no, there was a male tennis player back in the fucking early 2000s who did this shit. And people shitted on him. Like he was going up against Roddick and all the motherfuckers. Like people shitted on him because they were like he couldn't handle the stress and he wasn't built to be number one. He goes away for like 3 years, gets fat, comes back, and gets back to number one. Yeah, like so, like at the end of the day, like this is the thing, right? Like the mental health, our people using mental health as a cop out, right? It's a bigger story, right? And the reality of the matter is there are, right?
Of course.
People are always going to use things that go to their advantage, right? And some people do them because it is actually happening, and some people do them because they'll get a leg up and things will be easier.
Or they just get attention.
Yeah. I don't think and Antonio Brown is not doing it for that, right? He's not. I don't think he's doing it for attention. I think that in his heart of hearts and his mind of minds, he thinks that he's doing things the right way.
Yeah.
And the fucked up part is that we all know that he's not.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like when he's like, the media keep putting everything out about me. And I think the media kept laughing at him like, bitch, you was the one that was doing all of that shit.
Right.
But to him, he's like, dude, these are small instances, and you guys are making them major. But for us, we're looking at it like, dude, these are all major fucking issues.
Yeah.
You literally dined and dashed on a fucking private chef.
Yep.
You went and got a fucking fake vaccination card while you're in the limelight. Dude, that is an hourly employee thing to do. Yeah. I'm just being real. Like that is a less than 6-figure job thing to do, bro.
I want to go to the club, but they're making me find a card thing.
Wait. I want to hear Eddie. What hourly wage is that? $12 an hour? $11.50?
Under 19. Anything under 19. That's an under 19 hourly wage, bro.
It's the you can't afford a house in whatever market you live in hour per hour.
Eddie says if you ain't making more than $47K, fuck you.
No.
No, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Eddie. Eddie, okay, so I'll say this. And I was just talking about it on my podcast. I just recorded Short, Pale, and Handsome for the first time in fucking 6 months. I'm dealing with mental health issues, and I'm not motivated to do anything. The difference is this. I'm not having to do physical activity 40 hours a week, and I'm not getting my head. I'm not putting my head in harm's way. So when people say mental health, I get it. But the difference is that Antonio Brown's literal life is at stake. If you are not, you can't take a play off. You're putting yourself in harm's way. I kind of get that aspect of it.
Right.
And you can't look at something like I don't know if you guys saw it, but the Aaron Hernandez documentary on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's a fantastic watch. And it goes over his stuff. And when they do the scans and they show you the brain, and they're like, look, this is absolutely CTE. And you see the difference between a normal functional brain and his brain. You can't sit here and deny CTE anymore. So to act like that couldn't be a factor when this dude has been a high-level athlete for a significant amount of time, it's insane to me. No, this dude needs some help. Somebody needs to reach out to him, but you can't help those that don't want to be helped.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if is all right. This is a misconception that people say all the time, and what you just said. This is not me shitting on you. You can't help those that don't want to be helped.
It is,
but you can't even help the people that don't even know.
Helped.
That right there.
So like,
that's what I'm saying, like that, but that's part of it, right? Like
no. Like, okay, certain parts of mental health or mental what was it? Deterioration, mental deterioration, right? Whatever, is that your brain, as humans, we all think that if I think through this issue, I'm gonna make the right decision, right? And some people are mental, they skip steps. Only reason why I know this is because I do it myself, right? It's sometimes, Lloyd, you can contest to this shit. Sometimes I'm like, oh no, I'm just being petty. I'll tell you that shit right now. It's not even like, oh, I think I'm right in what I'm doing. No, this is all because I want to be petty, because I'm tired of fucking telling you the right things and you not listening to me. So I'm gonna do petty.
Yeah.
Some people with mental health issues, they don't even. It's not even. Oh, I want to be petty. They think they're in the fucking right.
No, I agree with you.
It's not that they don't want to be helped. They don't know they need help.
Yeah,
agreed.
So a lot of times when we talk through things, in like not any specific conversation, but it's like you want to do X, Y, Z, and we talk through it, and you're like, it gets to the point where you're like, oh, I'm being petty. And then once you realize like, oh, I'm being petty, that's what I want to do. But before it's like, oh, I'm doing this because you think it's the right thing to do. We talk through it, and then you come to the conclusion of like, I am still going to do it even though it's petty and I'm okay with it. But they aren't there. There is no way of just being like, this is what I'm doing.
Yes.
That's it. That's the whole conversation.
That's and where is AB's people to do that? To be that gravity that needs it, says, hey, I realize that you think you're bucking the system and you're doing the things that you need to do. You're not being owned, whatever. But it's evident when he made that video as he was departing the Raiders, because he was bragging about his crew around him prior to, and like 3 or 4 posts before that, several of it was about him and his crew and his people that were doing it, up to and including those that did the videography for the video. And it's like, I got that vibe then. It was like, none of them are telling you what you need to hear in this moment.
Concur.
So this is another thing to that, Terrence. And it took me a long time to get here. All right. Sometimes people have people around them that are yes men, right? And everybody's like, oh, it's yes men. You only got yes men around. And sometimes people only allow yes men around them, right? And so what I mean by that is sometimes there is a guy or a friend or a person that is telling you, hey, bro, stop. You need to stop, bro. And sometimes you don't listen to that guy.
Agreed.
So it's like, it's kind of like people are like, oh, well, where's AD's support group? They're around, because we've heard other NFL players talk about, or ex-NFL players talk about them being around AB, right?
But you
saw AB on LeBron's joint, and LeBron said, hey, but I called out to you.
It would be different in a scenario like this, because from how I read the scenario, a lot of those guys are like, hey, I spent time with AB. We were at camp one time. We were at, a practice squad here. We went to a semester together. It's never like, hey, that's my fucking road dog. And we went to X, Y, and Z together and we do this. Whereas when he was making those videos specifically about leaving the Raiders, that's how he was talking about his group of people, which apparently is like people that he's had since, college days or whatever.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is you don't know if any of those guys have been like, yo, you need to fucking relax.
That's a horrible idea.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time thinking, man, like if you've got knowing what I know about how hard dudes press on that, especially when dudes give a fuck, I have a hard time thinking that they're not going to sit there and push you like that, man.
Yeah,
like,
because you don't have not to say you don't have any type of mental issue, because I don't know your brain, right? But you don't have the mental issue that nigga has. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have that. So it's like, you can't see.
But when I say that, like, I'm racist.
Yeah, no, I'm not even.
Fucking hell. What's going on here? Jesus.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm not even. I'm defending him, but not to the point of like excusing him. I'm not excusing him.
No, I get it. It's just it just makes you wonder, right? Because there's so many factors it's impossible to tell. I'd like to hope that he's got a strong inner circle that's sitting there saying like, hey, bro, you can't fucking do this. Like, you have to know what you're doing is dumb, right? And if he keeps doing it, like, I'm with you, Lloyd. It's like what we've talked about multiple times. Hey, I'm cool with you saying that racist shit you said. As long as you know, as long as like you know the weight that comes with it, and everybody else ain't gonna be cool like that.
Nah, I'm not cool like that. I'm not cool like that at all.
You know what I meant, like.
Nah. You shut that racist shit down, nigga. Don't be fucking coming out. I say nigga on this podcast. You shut the fuck up when I say it.
Jesus Christ. Happy fucking New Year, people. Jesus.
He said he was going to come out hard in 2022. I didn't realize it was going to be directed at us, Lloyd. Like, this guy really thinks he's going to just come on this podcast. It's no longer going to be, I'm going to get in trouble. It's, I'm going to get cussed at. Like, what the fuck is this?
I'm going to get cussed out. Trouble.
Yo, what else we got? We got to wrap up.
Man, I'll wrap it up with this one, man. Shout out to the homie because it is comedy related. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's making
Did he just say
again.
Shout out to the homie? Hold up. Hold the fuck up, nigga.
It's a comedy podcast.
Is this a Lugs commercial?
No. Hey, baby. Shout out to the OG Bill Cosby, all right? The sponsor of this podcast. No, he don't sponsor this podcast. I wish he would.
So what's going on with Bill Cosby?
Cosby cappuccinos.
So Bill Cosby's in the news, y'all. This time he is an upright citizen. So it was just kind of a funny story, I thought, but it was comedy related. Apparently a lot of prisoners are still calling him collect to ask him for advice because during his time while he was locked up, he was quelling a lot of prisoner arguments and fights because they would get into conflict. He would tell them, hey, talking and communication is the best way to settle things.
Talking
and educate yourselves.
Communication.
And so I kind of found most of everything about that article kind of humorous to me, just all things considered.
I mean, we all need mentors in life, right? We all need the guiding good word from someone that we can trust.
Right.
And I mean, as long as it's life advice and not like, how to drug a bitch, I'm okay with that, I guess.
No, man.
Hey, listen,
don't they still make toilet wine in prison?
Give good advice, bro.
Don't they still make prison wine?
Advice.
What's that? What?
Bill Cosby gave good advice. You don't remember in the show, and they was at the cookout, and he was like, "You just gotta put the special sauce on her," and then
I mean, given that like the bar is so low, right, for good advice, like you just have to not give criminals more criminal advice. You just have to give them advice that doesn't put them into jail more.
No. Other side though, right? I think the older guys that fucked up, I'd give the best advice because they fucked up. They the ones that fucked up before, so it's like they tell you the shit not to get fucked up, basically.
Right. Like
so, I don't see anything wrong with him giving murderers and other rapists.
You just
like white collars,
right? You just have to give them not rapist, murderer, psycho advice.
Yeah.
That's his fucking advice. Hey, don't turn the rapes into murders. All right.
Yeah.
That's more time. More time.
Keep the rapes at the
listen,
rapes.
Cosby, all jokes aside, real shit though. Cosby did always, try to help people. He did. He always used to try to help people back in the day. He just went about that shit. And not even talk about the pills. I'm being so real. Like, remember he was like,
I need you to back that point up, Eddie, because
black that point out.
Please explain to me how he tried to help people.
He did try to help people, bro.
On
Like,
a TV show.
The TV show, Lewis Comedy, he used to talk about like not doing drugs and staying off the street. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was trying to get people. The problem was that we just didn't like that he was like, he didn't fuck with us niggas, right? Like, he fucked with he fucked with all the black dudes that was like, and the black ladies that were going to college and shit. But niggas that were mechanics and sold a little bit of bud, he was like, fuck them niggas. Like,
Bill Cosby's like, come here, buddy. Don't you sell those drugs? Give them to me so I can put in this bitch's drink.
But no, real shit. Bill Cosby did try to help people a lot. I'm just saying, from old wisdom guys, right? What is Bill in his 80s, right?
Dude,
like
he's like 81, 82, something like that.
Yeah, like he's probably fucking talking motherfuckers off of mental ledges. That's all that motherfucker had for a whole year and a half when he wasn't even supposed to be locked up. Like, not saying that like he didn't do. Yeah, he wasn't. Hey, that's a totally different argument. He technically was not supposed to be locked up. That's how he got out, dickhead. Yo, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
I'm standing here for him and the pudding.
No, for off of the law, he wasn't supposed to be locked up. Yeah, not off of what he did. That's two different arguments.
Okay.
Sure. I'm saying is, as an older gentleman in his latter years, he's probably giving these motherfuckers great advice. And that's all he had to do. All he did in prison for that year was probably listen to motherfuckers that was just asking them shit. So yeah, I'm happy that these motherfuckers, instead of raping each other in prison, they call Bill Cosby.
I mean, but also, if you were going to ask for money to be put on your books, I mean, who would you call? The guy that's about to buy NBC. Got it.
Yeah, I think he's far removed from buying NBC, bro. I think his chances of buying NBCs is about the same as Betty White's.
I know you can't buy NBC right now, but I was wondering if you could put like $5 on my books so I could buy some ramen noodles.
I just imagine the dude's getting raped in prison. Cosby's like, that sounds like pudding. I guess I gotta.
They're gonna remember. You didn't knock them out. They're gonna remember. That's horrible. That's cruel and unusual.
Yo, shut the fuck. Yo, what announcements y'all got, man? What shows y'all got coming up, yo?
Coming up this Friday, man. Make It Funny. It's a funny storytelling comedy competition with your boy. I'm excited as fuck. Come on out. I got the flyer posted up on my IG.
Dope.
What you got, Lloyd?
I got a show at the Artifice at the Arts District tomorrow, and then I'm editing my Short, Pale, and Handsome first episode of the year, first one in 6 months. I'm back, and I want to say thank you guys for keeping me fucking consistent on this shit. It's definitely been a lifeline this last 6 months. I have not been well.
Yeah.
Okay now.
We Lloyd, long talks. Good kid. Yo, ladies and gentlemen,
you notice I didn't laugh because I'm fucking left out of this. Fuck this shit.
Yo, go look at his fucking TikTok, dickhead. He says good kid all the time.
All the time. And everybody asks, it's like literally, like it's as opposed to calling a woman a derogatory term in Boston. We just, oh yeah, she was a good kid. Good kid.
Hey, he's calling no whore. Listen, State Fair, Tuesday, January 4th, I think. So tomorrow, King Tink is closing it out. Hideout on Thursday, the 6th. Lawrence Owens is closing it out. And then Run the Light, ladies and gentlemen, is coming to multiple cities. So we've already agreed. We're putting the money off to the side. So each show is gonna be $100. Each region or each city will then compete for $500. And then the winners from each one of those cities is going to compete for $1,000 at the end of the year. So, yeah, we're giving away like $3,000 this whole year. So make sure you go to Broken Diamond Comedy. Make sure you sign up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you cause some trouble. We out
Music
of here,
Music City Comedy Festival. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, Music City Comedy Festival. Website coming out soon. Registration
I heard the logo
tickets.
is dope. I heard the logo is super
registration
dope.
tickets will be on sale in February. Registration tickets will be on sale in February. Stay in trouble, people. Later.
With it. That's why I'm mad with it. With it. With it. That's why I'm mad with it. Straight out the trap with it.